Plans to build a new interstate bridge over the Columbia River got a boost this week when the Portland and Vancouver City Council signed off on the project. There's still a long way to go, but there seems to be a better chance this time around than when plans for the Columbia River Crossing project collapsed nearly a decade ago. Greg Johnson is program administrator of the Interstate Bridge Replacement Program. He's been an executive on major infrastructure projects in Maryland and Michigan, including early work on the Gordie Howe Bridge connecting Michigan to Canada. Greg Johnson, welcome to Eye on Northwest Politics.
Ken, thank you so much for inviting me.
Mr. Johnson, why is there a better chance for an I-5 bridge to get built this time around?
Ken, we think we have laid a very solid groundwork of talking to the community, of engaging with partners, doing a lot of listening, and making sure that we are bringing forth ideas that help solve the consistent problems in this corridor. So this is, we have been meeting with the political partners on this project as well through the Bi-State Legislative Committee. So it's been one continuous conversation. So we think that has been very positive. We've also worked with the local partners as well as our federal partners to ensure that everyone is up to speed on what's going on, what are the solutions, and they have their input and say.
Make the case for why we need a new Interstate 5 bridge.
So this bridge is over, or one of the bridges that carries I-5 is over 105 years old. And it's earthquake vulnerable in that it is built on wood piles in silty soils. So we do not know if a major earthquake hits how that bridge would react. So that's the most critical reason. But every day people are spending minutes and hours of their life stuck in congestion and having crashes in this corridor because of the configuration of the interchanges and of the bridge itself. So it's important that we solve these issues along with the freight concerns of getting freight through this corridor effectively and efficiently.
How much will it cost and who's going to pay for it?
So right now we are estimating anywhere between $3.2 and $4.8 billion to complete and modernize this 5-mile corridor to make it a multimodal corridor. So we are working with our federal partners who we anticipate will bring significant funding to the project. We also are working with both the state of Oregon and the state of Washington. And as you are aware, the state of Washington passed the Move Ahead Washington legislation that has dedicated $1 billion to this project. So we will be before the Oregon legislature in their 2023 session with a very similar ask. And the remainder of the funding will be made up through tolling of vehicles that cross this bridge.
You know, tolling was a big issue against the Columbia River crossing 10 years ago, especially for people who live in Vancouver but work in Portland, of which there are thousands who have to cross this bridge twice a day. Why do you think people will accept tolls this time around, and will there be any accommodation for workers who have to use the bridge for work?
So, Ken, we know that that tolling is a very controversial topic. We have been talking with both the Oregon Transportation Commission as well as the Washington State Transportation Commission who set toll policies. But we also know that projects of this size across the country use tolling as a way to help pay for and then maintain projects like this going into the future. So tolling, we feel, is a integral part of how this will get funded and how the bridge will be maintained going into the future.
And I just want to let our viewers know that we're looking at a picture of the Columbia River crossing, a rendering of what the Columbia River crossing would have looked like. The new bridge will probably look a little different from this. Another issue was including light rail in those plans. Clark County didn't want that back then. But now it looks like TriMet and C-Tran are on board. So what's your understanding of what changed politically between then and now?
So we have been working very closely with our transit partners, TriMet and C-Tran, to take the strengths of each agency and bring that to bear in this corridor to make this a truly multimodal corridor. We were looking for the most efficient way to move the most number of people outside of single occupancy vehicle trips. So both agencies have come to the conclusion that connecting light rail across the river and tying it into the bus rapid transit system that C-Tran is successfully operating is the most effective way to do that. So we've listened to our partners, we've listened to the community who says they'd like to see light rail connecting the communities of Portland and Vancouver.
Are you concerned about additional pressure on the I-205 bridge if people try to avoid the tolls on I-5? How do you deal with that?
So right now, the Oregon Department of Transportation is looking at congestion pricing on both the I-5 corridor south of our bridge and also on the I-205 corridor. So that type of congestion pricing actually creates a balance and restores the balance between I-5 and I-205. I-5 is the shorter trip, but I-205 has been less congested than I-5. So with the work that we project to do, we think that we will once again be relying on the congestion pricing work and taking that into account to create a balance between these two important ways to get across the river.
What still needs to be done in this process, and what's your timetable for completion of this bridge?
So Ken, we are at a critical milestone where we are reaching regional alignment between the 8 partners who are helping drive this project forward. So we have been before boards and councils, and yesterday we just received the eighth of 8 votes to move this into the next phase, which will be an in-depth look at what we refer to as the locally preferred alternative. So we will be testing all of the elements of this locally preferred alternative, which include such things as, number one, we know it will be a replacement bridge, not a tunnel. We also know that we will be testing whether 2 or 1 auxiliary lane in each direction will suffice going into the future. We will also be testing the configuration of the interchange on Hayden Island to make sure that that will be able to handle both the local traffic as well as freight traffic moving through the corridor. So this next phase that we are on the verge of entering into is going to be very important to fill in the details to make sure that what we are proposing actually will work going into the future.
Greg Johnson, thank you for joining me on Eye on Northwest Politics.
Ken, my pleasure.